Namaskar, good evening, salam alaikum, sat sri akal. Welcome to the Friday night 9:10 p.m. show only on YouTube. Brought to you by SEDS Global Branding Private Limited and Deal Flow Franchising. Produced by Brand Trigger and Explorer Frame in association with Capital One TV and Cloud Access. Ab Jeeto Bharat Ka Dil with the Great Indian Brand Show with Sudarshan Chetlur.
Friends, you know what? I have something really amazing to share. It's a great story. Or rather, I would say, this happened during one of the lectures that my teacher was giving. And he said something like, जंगल में जाके सब कुछ त्याग करके जंगल में जाके बैठ के तपस करना, that is something doable. वो कर सकते हो आप. जहां आप रह रहे उसी जगह पे वही सब करना जो आप एक जंगल में जाके हासिल करना चाहते हो. Becomes a spirituality that is a greater battle, and you are someone if you achieve that sitting in the place where you are born, क्योंकि ईश्वर ने आपको एक जगह पर्टिकुलर किसी रीजन से भेजा है. Now, why am I saying this? Now we know that there was a time in our country, that everything, like by dozens, by thousands and lakhs people were going abroad, to pursue a life over there, settle down over there and all that. बहुत लोग जाते हैं. Nothing against them. बहुत बढ़िया. See, everybody has their own, desire. क्योंकि अगर आपने अपने desire को fulfill नहीं किया, then your desire to even see God will go in vain. It will not happen. It starts from the desires that are achievable, right? So let's take it at that face value. Go outside, you settle, you have a life and you do things. You're prospering. आपने पूरी family को settle करा दिया, सब किया. But then there are those few warriors, I would say, who travel around the world, who work across, जाते हैं, बाहर जाते हैं, and suddenly they feel, नहीं यार, I want to get this all back to my own country. जहाँ पे I want to build my own country. It is time for us to build India. The whole world is moving towards India. Everybody is seeing India. India is in the news everywhere. We are growing by leaps and bounds, and we need the kind of intelligent manpower that we have, that resource over here. Why can't we do? Why can't we achieve? And I'm sure we can do it. Provided there are people over here who would do that. यहाँ पे लोग हैं जो करना चाह रहे हैं. And those people who plan to come back, and, put in all the knowledge that they have got all through their life into this land and helping the people of this land raise their bar, rise to a level that, the world would recognize you as someone. And true example, the epitome of that example is Mr. Prakash Agarwal, who is with us today. He's a virtual CFO. 16 years he's worked with, Fortune 500 companies like Reliance and etc. Worked with the who's who, handled lots of accounts, worked across different countries, and one day he felt, no, he wants to come back to India, not only because his father or his parents were missing him and they wanted his son to be with them, but with also the idea that if I can do this for so many countries, why can't I do it for my own nation and for my own brethren? Today we have Prakash Agarwal, the CEO of Virtual CFO. Believe me, this phrase virtual CFO was first coined by Prakash. It has been multiplied across by people in similar professions who call themselves virtual CFOs. And Prakash says, I am so happy that they are doing that. So in the studio, it is Prakash Agarwal, the man who came back with all the knowledge, and he's helping Indian entrepreneurs break free from those shackles of financial turmoil and adding a new lease of life to their company, helping them grow by leaps and bounds. Welcome to the show, Prakash Agarwal. So happy you're here with us. And viewers, if you're wondering why the set is looking different, this is an online interview. We are sitting in our office at SEDS Global Brand Building Private Limited. The owners of Diligence, that is the Great Indian Brand Show, and Prakash is sitting in Mumbai, and he's online with us direct from Mumbai. Welcome to the show, Prakash.
Nice to be with you, Sudarshan, on this show. Thank you so much.
No, it's such a marvelous experience that you've had. And I was going through the entire profile that we had our pre-interview talk also, where you say you had shared with me certain things, and How did it all began? You came from such a small city like Ajmer. It's a, no city is small, no place is small, no one is small. It's only, you're born in a certain way, but what you make of your life is what creates the difference. So how did you see all those dreams and you are at a place where you are today? And there was a point of time जब आपने लिखा भी आपने in the bio that we were sharing that you took a while and then you took a while to take grip even in your communication skills in English language, and today you are here, you are a known networker, you delivered over 100 lectures. What was the driving force behind all of this?
Yes. So when I was in school, I used to be almost a topper every year, and I was just very good in mathematics. My father used to teach me all the subjects, especially mathematics, to me. He was very particular. He was a school teacher, and for him, 99 was not enough. So he would always go after me and say, chase excellence, go for excellence. So he said, whatever you want to become, that is your choice. But chase excellence. Never settle for number two. Always go for number one. And that's what made me go for the best. When I came in 12th, a small incident happened. I was getting the prize in school ceremony for multiple things, both in debate, education, and various things. And there was another student who was my senior. He was the one who did all the 3 degrees, CA, CS, and ICAA. And that kind of set the dream in my mind that why not to go to Bombay, why not to do all the 3 degrees, and why not to bring that glory to myself and to the city.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that's what inspired you. And you got 24th rank in over 1 million students in class 10. You scored 6th rank when at university level at BCom honors, and you are among the the rare 2000 among lakhs of CAs in this country to have secured all these degrees together, like the company secretary, cost and management accountant. What's all that about? If you could guide that so that, CAs who are watching this show might drive inspiration from you.
Basically, the way it all happened was in college, those days CA was not allowed to be done with college. So I said, let me start ICAA. Before that, I'll share a little funnier story. Those days, my father said, try bank jobs as well, because you're so good at studies, you will get a bank job.
Yeah.
So there was an article in newspaper which said that, 2 lakh students applied for 3 positions in banks. So I said, that is tougher than doing CA and ICAA. So I said, let me try my hands on ICAA and CA rather than trying on bank job. So fortunately, I tried ICAA. And after starting ICAA and finishing my BCom, when I was eligible to do CA, my father said, why don't you do from Ajmer? I said, no, I want to go to the best place. He said, go to Jaipur, go to Delhi. I said, no, let me go to the best place in India, which is the financial capital of India, Mumbai, and do my CA from there. That's how I came to do CA in Mumbai. So after finishing CA and ICAA both, I was meeting Mr. Keswani, who was Colgate-Palmolive CFO those days.
Okay.
He was also CA, CS, and ICAA.
Mm-hmm.
And he said one line. He said, Prakash, don't leave CS, finish it. It's hard to do all the 3 degrees. I know it's tough, but do it. So I said, what is the advantage? He said, once you become a company secretary, you always will sit in a board meeting to take the notes and drive the meeting. So very early in the career, you will get access to the boardroom. And I think his advice was bang on. I got company secretary degree, and the amount of flight it gave me throughout my career was brilliant.
I can imagine that because I've been meeting people from different walks of life, different entrepreneurs, so CS also and CS also, but I've never come across one who's done all of these together. And definitely you're a very, very rare combination if I look at it. It's not every time that something like this comes across, and definitely you are a treasure find for people who might be trying to resurrect their companies or, trying to get into some mergers and acquisitions and all. I think that is where your role as an external CFO would come into play, where you have the exposure to all these 3 highly, critical to business kind of degrees, and the ins and outs, the audit reports, the governances, the policies and everything put together, right? So I think that is where you scored, according to me. What do you think is the difference that you bring to the table as an external CFO amidst everyone who might be there?
What difference I bring in with all the 3 degrees, a normal CA degree holder, a CFO can look at from finance and tax angle. But I can also look at being a ICAA, costing angle as well. And being a company secretary, I can also bring a legal angle and secretarial angle. So I can look at a problem from all the angle. That's where I bring the wholesome approach. Plus, if you've gone through the grind and passed the three most toughest exams, then you think that much faster and you are valued that much more. In fact, when I started my career in Reliance, I was part of Mukesh Ambani's office and I used to sit very outside his cabin.
Okay.
But I moved to Patalganga plant and I replaced Mr. Gupta, who was 44 at the age of 23, just because Mr. Gupta was just an ICW and I had all the 3 degrees. So that's the kind of jump you get. You get the chance to handle to 3,000 crore rupee plant costing at the age of 23. And not only this opportunity, throughout the career, I had a lot of big breaks because I had 3 degrees.
That's simply
Of course, I
amazing.
will also share with you. A lot of people ask me, how did you manage to do 3 degrees? It was so tough. When I appeared for ICW first time, I failed and I failed miserably. I got just 22 marks. It was the first time ever in career I failed. In fact, I remember that was second year of my college, and in my college in costing paper I got 98 out of 100 and I was not happy about it. I applied for revolution. I said, how can they deduct 2 marks? So it was a question of it hit my ego to fail in the costing paper.
Okay.
And next time when I appeared again in costing paper, you would be surprised to know that I got second highest marks in costing paper in India.
Wow.
Now, how did I did? I said, come what may, I'll fight this. So I did 10 years papers of ICW final, though I was an intermediate. I did CIMA London, which is the toughest exam in the world, 10 years papers. I went through all the available books of costing and I also did CA final costing books. So the amount of preparation I put in next 6 months was, come what
Monumental.
may, however difficult the paper might be, this time I'll crack. And I got second highest marks in India in costing paper.
My
And that also
goodness.
set the tone of all the 3 exams that, look, if I can crack this, rest everything I can crack.
Plus everything you can do. Definitely, definitely. So, you worked in so many, companies. And like we started the program with this entire idea that you wanted to make a difference. But I would really like to know from your end, like working, सबका सपना होता है कि हम एक बड़ी कंपनी में काम करें, that we work with big organizations, because it gets you a very different kind of a recognition. And starting your own battle is a very, very ball game altogether. Because see, I've seen a number of friends who have worked in advertising agencies. See, coming from brand building, I have a very wide network of friends who are working in different agencies and all. And I saw many of them start their own agency and then go back to jobs again, because when you're working with someone like O&M or Rediff or erstwhile Rediff, or you're working with somebody like, पहले की जो agencies होती थी बड़ी बनी, if you're working with HC and all, तो आपका रुतबा बहुत अलग होता था when you used to go in front of a client. The client would also talk to you in a very differently. But when you start off on your own, the same people, they were at a very different receiving end. And they got back into their work also. So how did you decide that, no, that I'll get into this? And what were the challenges that you faced when you started off on your own? Number one, why did you start off on your own, having been so successful at that end? Second, what were the challenges that you faced? And third, what did you tell yourself, or how did you overcome those challenges to set up a person and a company, so virtual CFO that you are today, having more than 300 clients?
Sure. So I'll take the first, what made me move back to India and what made me think of this concept and what made me start. I'll share both professional reason and personal reasons.
Okay.
So having a surname of Agarwal and being a Marwadi, there was always a desire to start something own rather than reporting to a boss or work for an institution.
This is
I'd
runs in the
already worked for
blood.
Yes. I had already worked with Reliance, G, HSBC, Capgemini, some of the best names in industry. And I said, why not to start my own? Also, another personal reason for which I started was, once I went abroad, my father's health started going down, and doctor said it's not physical reasons, it's emotional reasons, that mera beta chala gaya, beta videsh chala gaya, abhi mera kya hoga?
Okay.
So my mom called me. He said, "Beta, you have achieved enough, education-wise, career-wise. Now come back. Take care of your father."
It is such an amazing thing जो आप बता रहे हैं. I'm sorry, I'm just taking a minute over here. So the family values are so important. Many people I've seen, even at my age when I come, I feel like, my workplace, when it comes to brand, of course, this we are doing from my office space only. Otherwise, we have a studio set up where we actually shoot the entire, episodes of the Great Indian Brand Show. But otherwise, my office is it has been a work from home ever since I started my business. And, work or no work, whether you're rising high or you're falling down, the one thing that always was so amazing was because there's always family that is there around. Uska ek bahut, that kind of a support. I think it's really, really amazing. और मुझे लगता है कि people should actually think in that angle. जैसे आपने सोचा आपकी मदर ने आपको बोला. It is so amazing. So viewers, I would say this definitely, like आप आगे बढ़ रहे हो. But then, always look at who the people are with you, because जितनी खुशी उनको होती है ना, आप किसी भी form में हो, as long as you're honest and you're giving your best, I am telling you, your folks will be, laying down a red carpet for you every time. That is what they want. कि सिंपल सादा ऑनेस्टी ईमानदारी के साथ काम करो, मेहनत करो, जैसे कि प्रकाश जी के फादर ने उनसे बोला, ऑलवेज परस्यू एक्सेलेंस. इफ यू गो फॉर परफेक्शन, fame, money and everything else will just follow. It will just follow. Just going for perfection and excellence is enough. Yes, continue, sir. I thought this was very important because जो आपने बताया ना family angle, that is very important because India ना, see, for centuries we have been a very, very well bonded society, and it works very well in our system of business, job, or everything. Family comes first. Yeah, please go on.
So, but then coming back to India didn't solve the problem, because once I came back to India and I looked at father, I said, even though I shifted him to Bombay from Ajmer with me, but I said going back to the job is not possible, because the kind of multinational jobs I was there and the kind of package I was getting, it was not possible to take care of him, because his issue was sit with me in the morning, sit with me in the evening. And being a school teacher from a small town, he was not fitting in Bombay culture. Mm-hmm. So I also took an additional job of making friends for him among senior citizens. First, I'll make a senior citizen my friend. Then I'll introduce that senior citizen to my
amazing, father. So amazing, so
in
amazing.
fact, I would like to name Dr. Sharma, who was in the building, and he and me together worked on creating a senior citizen club so that we could help a lot of people like my father. And that club still runs today. In my building, and I'm so happy that we together formed that club, which helped my father make a lot of friends. And after that incident, my father still was alive for 7-8 years. He got back to his health completely. But that was also one of the reasons why I never went back to the job. I said, if I go back to job, I can't take care of him. We went to a psychiatrist. He simply wanted to admit him in a hospital and said, just leave him in a case. You are from abroad. You're not short of money. You just keep giving money. I said, no, that's not what I would like to do with my father. So that was second reason I started my own. So first reason, as I said, the desire to start my own, help multiple entrepreneurs in their own setup with CFO service who can't afford CFO service, because CFOs are all large company, get big packages, 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore. Mm-hmm. And small and medium-sized owners can't afford them. Mm-hmm. So these were the two primary reasons I came back to India and started my own, and I'm proud of my journey. When I started, there were hardly any CFO players. There were 1 or 2 people who were giving retired CFOs at part-time. Mm-hmm. So I decided to keep my company name as Virtual CFO. And I said, I'll give virtually support to everybody. That's how my cost will come down, and I'll be available. My team will be available throughout the month. And today there are hundreds of people, thousands of people in India who say, I give virtual CFO service. So it became like a Xerox and Xerox story. What name I thought, it became a synonymous with the service. So I take pride. The virtual CFO name with a tagline I have trademarked, but I'm glad so many people are in this business, because there's a limit to which you can handle a client. I'm glad it became a
industry. India is actually, see, I really appreciate what you have said over there. So viewers, this is something very important. See, nobody can snatch away what belongs to you. वो कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. I've seen a lot of times it happen that there is competition, but competition is supposed to be healthy. And when you are in a phase where you know what you're doing, you only become a giver. There is no competition. You only end up giving, and people get inspired by what you have done. It is very important, that sharing, like tomorrow if somebody else starts up another show where branding and all this thing is happening, I think I'll be the happiest person to see that, because it is, the opportunities are there in plenty. There are over 7 billion people in this world, right? That's not the entire issue. There is enough for everyone. मैं हमेशा यही बोलता हूँ, like there is like everybody knows what a guitar is, it has 6 strings. It's okay, usually 24 frets, so around 144 notes. There are 1 million legendary compositions that have been made, and there are 1 million legendary compositions that will come out in the future. So just one instrument can give you some other space for everyone. So what a wonderful initiative. That's so noble of you कि आपने वो उस तरीके से you let that okay करो, क्योंकि I think that is what builds community. और मैंने एक चीज और भी देखी है, correct me if I am wrong. I was talking to a local retailer, trader and all that, and we were telling that कि यहाँ पे already इतने सलून है, why did you open here? सिर्फ that कि इतने सलून है, मतलब यहाँ पे लोग आते हैं, अकेली मार्केट में जाने का फायदा नहीं है, जब कंपटीशन हो वहां पे लोग आएंगे, उधर चलता रहेगा धंधा. That was a very different outlook that I heard. What is your take on that, having come from such a huge experience that you have behind you?
No, I agree. More people, they develop the industry, the pie of the industry become larger, and there are more opportunities because when you reach a potential client, you realize that he has been already approached by somebody. So at least he is educated on the concept. He is educated about the fact that there's a possibility of having a CFO on his team on part-time rather than a full-time thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now I'll come to a very important part. See, starting off on your own was really amazing. So, number one, how did your father react to it? Because now that you say that he's from a service background, क्योंकि वो मुश्किल होती है understanding में कि भाई अपना business start कर रहे हैं. Because I know I also had many things to face when I started my own business with my father. He was very supportive though. He was like a bit lost कि ये हो क्या रहा है? Because nobody in my family दूर दूर तक किसी ने नहीं किया था business when I started 20 years ago. So what was that? And apart from that, what were the kind of challenges that you encountered?
So see, father was though not very in favor of starting my own, but he was happy that I was back in India and he was happy that I was taking care of him. Beyond that, he didn't have too much say. He said, if you want to start your own, do it at your own risk and do it. But I'm happy you're back. But starting was tough. And being a CFO, I can tell you, out of 10 people, 9 people shut shops and go back to job. Why? Because let's say somebody has a lifestyle of 2-3 lakh rupee a month. So what happens when you start your own, take the office and keep few employees, then suddenly you have a meter of at least 4 lakh rupee a month going out, and the revenue takes time. Even if revenue come, collection takes time. So once the 4 lakh rupee month of shares start getting sold or FD is getting broke, in 6 months, वो सब हवा जो entrepreneurship की वो निकल जाती है.
हाँ, बहुत मुश्किल होती है यार. Now I'll ask another thing. What is your advice to these entrepreneurs, especially from the CA field, who are actually, maybe they are not having all the same degrees that you have, all the 3 of them, but they're definitely highly qualified CAs with a load of experience behind them. What are the kind of challenges they could face, and how can they overcome these challenges if they also want to become someone like you, become an outsourced CFO and an external CFO of a company?
First of all, not only CFO service or a CA, anybody who is becoming an entrepreneur, the best way to protect this whole FD break thing, shares break thing, or going back to the job is keep your monthly expenses very, very low. For example, I was in South Bombay in Mahalakshmi when I was in HSBC. But when I started my own, I shifted to suburbs, which is Kandivali, where still I live in. So I cut down my lifestyle heavily to cut down that number of monthly outflow, which helped me survive faster. Then second thing, for initial few years, I operated from home without any employee. That helped me keep my official cost close to zero. And that's how my break-even came very fast. And third thing I did is I'm a networker, and I'll advise everybody, meet at least 100 new people every year. Go to conferences, go to seminars, go to organizations like Rotary, Lion, go to various events, join hobby groups, join as many communities as possible. Meet minimum 100 plus people every year. Some of them will become your clients, some of them will become advisors, some of them will become vendors, some of them will become well-wishers, some of them you will give them client. But you will create a network which will grow with the time. So always do that. Don't sit at home and hope windfall will come and business will come. You don't get business, fine. You go and help, give some business to somebody. Give advice to somebody. Make some connections. That fellow 1 year, 2 year, 5 years later will come back and give you back.
Absolutely. I've always believed this entire thing. You never know. मैं ना हमेशा से ये चीज बोलता हूँ, even when I go to a lot of meets where I'm addressing startups on branding and all that together, and I tell them this one thing that you have told, and exactly you have validated everything that I've said in all these years. When my father was young, or when your father was young, hard work was the key to success. When we were around that age, say around our youth, though you and I still believe we are still youthful. That's a different story. But physically, if you look at, at the early 20s and all, smart work was the key to success. Today, network is the key to success. Your network can get you things which you just can't even imagine. मतलब networks work with such amazing, it's such an amazing potential. आपको पता नहीं लगता कि आप किसी से मिले हो आज, और हो सकता है 3 साल बाद that person could get you one of your biggest clients because the person knows you and you have remained in touch. So our ED, where I'm a part of BNI Delhi Central, he used to always say, and he always says, like what you said, meet 100 people every new year. He exactly says that रोज 3 नए लोगों को मिलो और अपने business के बारे में बताओ. And if nothing is happening even after that, that is when you need to really look inside yourself why something is happening and correct yourself. Otherwise, within 6 months of time, it won't take more than 6 months for you to get, clients on in your entire kitty.
Also,
Yeah, please go
I'll
ahead.
also talk about few things which helped me in my journey. So one
Yeah.
was BNI. I got my first client from BNI. I used to be in Dubai in my last job, and I attended one BNI meeting there. And when I came back to India, I said BNI is the answer. So I joined BNI. I'm grateful to BNI for giving me not only my first client, but so many clients. That's why last 12 years, I'm still part of BNI.
Yeah.
Second thing, I joined Indian Angel Network, which is one of the largest angel networks
I
in the
was just
world.
about to come to that only. Yeah.
So that gave me immense insight into startup world and helped me sign up a lot of funded startup as client or work with the startup community. So that's another category which really helped me. And I also invested in several startup myself through IN.
Mhm.
So these two things really helped me in my journey.
Wonderful, wonderful. I would now come to something really pertinent. You have some really, really amazing achievements all through your career as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. I would like to specially talk about, the family-owned business that you have mentioned over here, where it's like a few 100 crores worth of business, and how you mediated and how you got it into, overcoming the challenges of each and every family member. Because India mein, family businesses are many, and they go, वो एक particular thought pattern और particular mindset से चलते हैं, and sometimes they don't want to come out of it and they say कि नहीं यही करते रहना है हमने चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. Though the world is changing, what is it that you did with this wonderful business that you have mentioned, and what is your advice to family run businesses?
So I have worked on family settlements, and one of the family settlement I'll talk about, the money was couple of 100 crore, and they had multiple businesses. There was a dispute. It couldn't have gone to a lawyer because this was within the family. There was no case to be filed against each other. It was basically the whole decision need to be taken that who will head what and how the entire assets will be divided, how the entire business will be divided. It was a very tough task, but partly my networking skill, partly my interpersonal soft skill helped me. I met each member. I spent significant amount of time in reading their personality, understanding their ambition, understanding their strengths and weaknesses, and kept working for 3 years in terms of resolving those complexities, those issues, those challenges. And after 3 years, I could make a significant impact. It was constant persuasion, patience, persistence, and working with different people with different personality helped me resolve that particular issue.
That's
So anybody
really
who is
amazing.
having a family issue in terms of settlement, my humble advice is don't go to a lawyer, because beyond a point, lawyers can just issue notices and pull each other in court. Hire somebody who is senior person, who has at least 20, 30 year experience, who has wisdom of life, not necessarily a CFO, not necessarily somebody like me, but somebody who has that wisdom, who can, with patience, persistence, can work with various family members and can help them. That would be my advice to business owners. That is in the family settlement side. Otherwise, in general, my advice will be, before beginning of the year, always make a business plan. Business plan is like you are going to Delhi, you are going to any other city. You plan. You don't take your suitcase and just start. You plan. You look at this date. I want to go by plane, or I want to go by train. If you're going by train or plane, then you book reservations and you start accordingly. But most business owners start April, new financial year, without any business plan. So you should have a plan in mind, which you should be documented. After you have the figure in mind, it could be either done with the help of a good CFO, or you can do it along with your accountant on your own. The only value which a CFO bring in, he'll bring a good template, he'll drive the entire exercise, and he'll give his professional expertise and experience, because you will get busy in your work and you may not be able to do on your own. Second is keep making a rolling forecast of 1+3 or 1+6, which means every month make a forecast that, look, this will be my income or collections, and this will be my expenditure, and this is what my bottom line will look like, or my surplus or deficit will look like. Based on that, project next 3 months. And then wherever you see deficit, take decisions ahead of the time to correct it. Second thing which I always say is, as an entrepreneur, you have to choose between a good lifestyle or sleepless nights because of bad cash flow. Choice is yours. Good lifestyle will give you excitement, but bad cash flows will give you sleepless nights. So choose wisely.
That is simply brilliant. I would like to specially highlight that one point that you said over here, जो आपने इतना बताया ना, that you took 3 years to resolve. So for family businesses, if you're listening to this, if there are disputes going on and all, आप ये सोच के देखिए कि 3 साल कुछ भी नहीं है जो आपकी आने वाली हजारों पीढ़ियों के लिए. There's so many generations to come. There is over 100, 200 years. There's so much of wealth that you have actually, earned out of so much of hard work. You built a business empire and all, and it has to actually function in the right way, and it has to keep delivering what it has delivered. आपके principles और आपके ideals के ऊपर, base, it has to keep producing that kind of result and keep making a difference in people's life the way for generations it has been doing. जहां से चलता हुआ रहा, जब चालू हुआ, जब start हुआ. So for that, I think if I look at 2-3 years, आपको अगर किसी को लगते हैं वो resolve करने में, then it's not a great, it's not a time loss. It's a brilliant opportunity to invest that amount of time so that you can get things in control and get in touch with people like Mr. Prakash Agarwal, who is actually turning things around for so many families across. It's not only, where he's in Mumbai, he's working pan-India. I think from Jammu to Kashmir, he has more than 300 clients where he's been doing that. What would you say about that? What are the kind of clients you have with yourself, Prakash, on this one?
Yes, I've done variety of industry. I've done advertising industry. I've done architects. Architects, thanks to one person in my chapter who was an architect. He connected me to first architect and then second architect. And now we have a full-fledged practice for architects. When I was in Reliance, I was also looking after Reliance hospitals. I have immense knowledge about hospitals. Now we have separate vertical for hospitals, nursing homes, and doctors having multiple clinics. That's another area we do. So we have done these 300 clients, variety: manufacturing, retail, services business, architects, doctors, funded startups. And I'm quite proud that I enjoyed that variety. Even today, what excites me most is that variety. That you keep meeting new people and you keep meeting variety of business owners and you learn something from each of them.
So yeah, Prakash, that is one thing more that I wanted to talk about, a very interesting thing, that you're handling businesses from 25 crores plus on to 500 crores तक के businesses को आप handle कर रहे हैं, maybe beyond. And I understand दोनों का scale बहुत अलग है, दोनों की requirements बहुत अलग है. 25 करोड़ वालों को 100 करोड़ पे पहुंचना है, 500 करोड़ वालों को 1000-2000 करोड़ पे पहुंचना है. So this is the kind of range of clients that you're actually working with, coming from different industries?
Yes. So the reason we have set a 25 crore benchmark at 500 crore, there's a rationale behind it. We do work with clients below 25 crore. It's not that we don't work with them. But at 25 crore, the pain of handling finance becomes so much because you are busy with growth, you are busy with top line, you are busy with client execution. So you technically don't have time for finance, and you can't afford a full-time CFO in his team. Plus, a CFO and his team will not come to a smaller organization by leaving a large organization. So at 25 crore, the businessman actually keep looking for, can I get somebody who can help me with my finance?
Absolutely.
At 400 crore, 500 crore is a limit where you start making so much profit. The operation effort becomes so much that typically there's a need to hire a full-time CFO. That's where we said typically at 500 crore, we would like to take a pause. Yes, after 500 crore, we do work with a lot of large listed companies, but we work with them on project basis. When they need a specific help, we will help them. Or if there is a group company where they need help, we will help. But main company, you need a full-time CFO.
You need a full-time CFO. Yeah, it also goes with the CS, now, because I've heard that, every company needs to have an outside CS, even if they have somebody internal. So uske se bhi, there might be a lot of opportunities coming that way.
Yes, there are opportunities which comes in CS, but my practice is primarily CFO. So I focus on CFO service.
Wonderful.
Plus, CS is a more legal position where a company has to keep beyond certain turnover, a certain norms, a full-time CS.
Well, that was really amazing, Prakash. मतलब काफी insights दी आपने, how things happen and all. I want to come to another thing. आपने एक client के बारे में बताया था. Now I want to talk about this specific client of yours. And viewers, this is absolutely very important. I'll just, just spin myself so that you know. So viewers, this is absolutely very important for you to know, because there's this particular client, जिसके लिए Mr. Prakash had given the services as an outside CFO and helped the client, gain close to, I think, more than 30 crores of rupees. So let's get to know what's that all about. What was the entire issue? Because I'm sure many, even the entrepreneurs who are watching this episode right now, if you have any turmoil, that is financial turmoil going on, probably you will get an insight into what exactly was the problem. And if it relates to you, then Prakash Agarwal is the man that you need to be talking to. So let's talk to Prakash regarding this. So Prakash, what was that case where you got your client more than 30 crores in, I think, about a year or 2 years of engagement, because they were facing some kind of financial issues within their company?
Yes. So basically, this company was trying to sell their business to somebody, and that particular person who wanted to buy this company sent PwC for the due diligence. When the due diligence team came, they started asking all kind of questions and all kind of reports to the accountant, and accountant got rattled कि ये मैं इतने सारे सवालों को कैसे आंसर दूं, छोटे मोटे एडजस्टमेंट तो बिजनेस में होते ही हैं, उनको
Absolutely,
कैसे
absolutely. Because that's a very different kind of thing. And only a CA होने के, it doesn't help, because you come from the CS background and the project accounting background and all that for SARI degrees. I think those all came into play, because that's how you were able to do the due diligence in a much better way, I guess.
So basically, I spoke to the owner, and owner said, "Look, this PwC is going back saying that these guys are not giving data, and the deal might fall off. Can you please handle it, because my accountant is not able to handle it?" I said, "No worries." I studied the entire case. I went to PwC. I said, "Yes, there are minor adjustments, which is a normal practice in a family business. There are times some personal expenses also get debited business. I'll write all the adjustment on a piece of paper and give it to you, and we will adjust in the final value." And I took charge of the entire piece. Every day, every email I was responding every day. Within same day, I was responding all the queries, and PwC was impressed. We got the due diligence through. The deal got signed up, and the total deal size was more than 100 crore. We got our money except the 30 crore. For 30 crore, they said, "We will pay this money, but we'll pay it after 2 years, when all the parameters of the business, which is top line, gross margin, bottom line, and a couple of other ratios related to working capital, will be met." So owner came to me and said, "Prakash, look, my accountant can't meet them. And beyond a point, I don't have expertise. I can run the business. I can achieve the numbers, but you have to help me as CFO." So I worked on the business for 2 years and helped him achieve the 30 crore number. We not only got 30 crore, but little more. And owner was very happy that
absolutely, it's a huge amount.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And as a reward, owner not only after this assignment ended, he didn't cut the cord. He had another company which was loss making, so he gave it to me. I made it profitable. He was very happy with my work. With this money came in, he invested in other businesses and started new startup. He again hired me for that. So relationship became not only just 2 years, but we worked overall for several years, and with several of his businesses. And he also gave me several referrals of his clients.
So on that count, I would like to ask you a certain very pertinent question. ये बहुत important है. What are the mistakes that business owners make that you as a CFO have been able to spot? And there must be certain things that you can advise them today from this platform that they can take care of, so that, finance, of course, it requires outside help of, maestros like you, but within their own scope of work, what are the things that they should be doing, whether you're a startup or whether you're a running business, things that you really need to take care, so that you don't land yourself into a financial turmoil?
So one thing which every owner should do is, rather than growing every year, you should follow the consolidation pattern. The consolidation pattern could be 2+1 or 1+1, which means 2+1 is you grow for 2 years and next 1 year you consolidate. Consolidation means you focus on giving better delivery to customer, you build your team, you make sure that the client is very happy. If there is a bad client, you actually exit the client. So consolidation theories apply. What people do is they just want to grow every year, which doesn't work. At least 1 year you need to consolidation. If your business is having too many issues, then you should do 1+1, which is 1 year growth, 1 year consolidation. But if your business is doing reasonably well and settled, then you can do 2+1. That is one thing I would like to advise. Second thing, you need to set some part of your client every year. Now, why that is required? You must have heard about sacking employees, but sacking client is unheard of. Why? Because the owner says, "अरे इतनी मुश्किल से तो आया है, 50 लोगों से बात की तो एक convert हुआ है. I can't sack clients like that." But not to get into detail, but to keep it brief, you have to sack the 3 types of clients. One, who doesn't pay you in time. Second, who doesn't pay you your price. And third, who is in general a pain to deal with, the behavioral issue or in general is a deal. As your business grows, you have to start sacking some part of these clients. Now, that percentage which I recommend is between 20 to 25%. But it's not that you go one fine day and just sack 20 to 25% client. No, don't do that. Every quarter, you should sack 5 to 6% of these clients. Once you have sacked 5 to 6% of the client, bring the new clients. Until you bring the 5 to 6% to replace them, don't go for second lot. But it's like we cut our hair, we crop in garden the trees. So unless you do cropping and cutting, your garden will not be beautiful. Your hairs will just be like a Babaji, So similarly in business, as you grow, you can't just keep adding clients. You have to keep churning out clients. In your employees, as you grow, you need to get rid of some employees who are no more suitable for the larger organization which you have built now. Similarly, clients, you need to start letting go. And third thing is, keep a strong control on your lifestyle, because good lifestyle and being a great entrepreneur and great business doesn't go together. You have to invest money in business, and that will come only from the business. If you start spending that money on bigger house, international holiday, interiors, and bigger lifestyle, you will have lesser money to invest in business.
Thank you so much for that one. I mean, this has been such a brilliant eye opener. Matlab, I'll first go to the third point that you said. The first one I understand jo aapne bataya. Just like, you have to look into this, the 1+1 and 2+1 kind of a thing. Second one, I'll come later, but the third one is so important. I always keep telling people, so this is where viewers, you need to really pay attention to what Prakash is telling. If you do not invest in your business will never be in a position to invest in the dreams that you have seen for yourself. Aapne apne liye jo bhi socha paane ke liye, that will happen through business, because business is your way through which you're going to earn. You have three different kinds of clients. Maybe you have your bread and butter clients, like Prakash had mentioned. There are some clients ki aapko rakhne hain, theek hai, bread and butter hai. Then there are some very good projects that interest you ki aap lena chahoge, where you find that ki acha main ye kaam karna chahta hu ya karna chahti hu, because this is of my interest to me. And the third is your dream project. Okay, so you do have that kitty of clients with you, but if you're not investing in your own business, like, for example, I will not hesitate telling, apni branding agar aap nahi karoge, so it will not happen. You have to do that. So that's another cue. And I'm sure Prakash will also validate over here. Please come to the Great Indian Brand Show. Also, that's a very important platform for you to voice out what you do with so much of clarity, of course, with a host that is in front of you right now. Well, jokes apart, but you need to do it. आपको अपने ऊपर इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा. Your PR, your own getup, your own communication skills, the team training that you need. You might hire business coaches, financial coaches for your team, sales coaches for your team, processes के लिए. All these things are very important. क्योंकि जब आपका business एक order में होगा, आपकी life पूरी order में आ जाएगी. That will give you the return. Please correct me, Prakash, if I have said anything wrong over here.
No, perfect. Absolutely right, Sudarshan. We all have to market ourselves. We all have to pitch for ourselves. If we don't pitch for our services ourselves, who else will do it? Yeah,
absolutely. And I'll just pin up my photo again and I'll say this one. The second point that Prakash had made, you need to churn out your clients. Now, such a beautiful, first time, revelation I have had since the time I have been doing these shows. Hum employees ko to mana karte if they are not performing. Clients also see you and your client are at one level. Remember, you're only here, you're providing the service or you're providing the manufactured material. Yeah, jo bhi kar rahe hain, but at a level, you both are sitting on the same table. It is very important to empty your mind from any kind of, your misery that it is going through because of a certain client or what. So keep reshuffling. That's very important. And thank you so much, Prakash, because I have learned this and I'm going to apply it from today. Although you have made my conviction so strong, I thought of not working with a couple of clients, and I'm telling you, I'll definitely be looking at that. So once again, Prakash, thank you so much for that revelation, because I'm sure many people would be helped with what you have said over here, because that is the way to grow. इसमें एक चीज और बोलूंगा. I'll just take 1 minute. So viewers, आप एक काम करो. Take a jar of water. दो jars ले लो, 1 liter वाले, ठीक है? Jars ले लो, and एक jar के अंदर पानी भर के ना, just pour a little bit of black ink or blue ink into that. Make it colored water. Now, this is the clients that you have. To keep having the great clients that you need transparent water. Now keep pouring into it. अगर आपने उसके ऊपर एक और clear water का jar डाला ना, still the water is a bit soiled. You have to continuously keep pouring it till that entire water becomes from black to crystal clear. That is the process that Prakash is telling, and it is not a one-time process, it's an ongoing process. आपका 2, 3, 4, 3 साल लग सकता है, but then by that time, you would yourself have matured to understand the kind of client you need. Because see, I'm not telling any client is bad, लेकिन सबकी अपनी understanding होती है. They'll work with someone else. You know, हर कोई के साथ काम नहीं कर सकता. It is spread out. We saw in the episode of Mr. Ravi Chopra, you know, like if somebody is going digital marketing, 30,000, 50,000 का digital marketing का budget है, they'll never go to a company that handles crores account. और जिसको करोड़ों का marketing करना है, वो उसके पास जाएगा ही नहीं जिसके पास 1 लाख का भी top level का account नहीं है. It doesn't work that way. So there's work for everybody, but learn to, you know, keep that pipe and that from where the fresh water is to come as clean as possible. That will help you in the long run. How do you say? I hope I've been able to put it in the right way, Prakash.
Absolutely.
Looking at your intelligence.
Put it very well.
No, definitely. No, you inspired me to say that. And believe me, this is such a great revelation. On this count, I'll ask you something. Now, we've talked a lot about business and all. I want to ask you one thing. What are 3 important things that you would like to say to every CFO, to every CA or a person who has had similar degrees as yours, if they want to become an outside CFO, what are the 3 important things that they need to nail? I'll say nail.
One is build relationship with client. If you don't build relationship with client and just treat him a transaction, it won't work. Second thing, before you go for any important meeting with client, whether it's monthly review or any important decision you are taking, you need to take a piece of paper and write down notes, what you are going to discuss, how you are going to discuss, how you are going to address. So do your homework before you go to the meeting and ask every 3 months or 6 months at what more I can do for the client. Before the client asks, you should ask yourself what more I can do for the client. If you're doing these 3 things, there's a high chance that you'll make client happy and he'll continue for long. And we, at the end, we all are human beings. So sometimes clients are in a different mood. Listen them out. Don't just go and bombard with them your suggestions. Listen them out, understand their pains, address them first rather than going with your CFO head. Look, I know all the knowledge. I have everything. And let me show off, how brilliant I am. That doesn't work.
Thank you so much. That was so amazing. So viewers, the most important thing, network. Go to as many places as possible because that is what will help you. आप जितने लोगों के संपर्क में आएंगे, उतने लोग आपके भी संपर्क में आएंगे. That is what he said at the very start of the interview. Then you're taking down notes. अगर आप लिखेंगे, तो आप याद रखेंगे कि क्या चीजें प्रायोरिटी वाइज कर पाएंगे कि किसको पहले अटेंड करना है किसको बाद में. एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज बी प्रोएक्टिव. आप खुद अपनी तरफ से सजेस्ट करो कि आफ्टर 6 मंथ्स की क्या कर सकते हो क्या नहीं कर सकते. सी यू बीइंग प्रोएक्टिव हेल्प्स योर क्लाइंट अ लॉट. उनको लगेगा यार मुझे कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, मेरी उंगली खड़े होने से पहले बंदा खुद खड़ा हो जाता है. एंड ही डज एवरीथिंग. दे नो व्हाट वी आर लाइक द बैक ऑफ आवर हैंड. सो दैट इज हाउ वेल मेक योर क्लाइंट्स बिजनेस योर ओन. जब तक वो आपका खुद का नहीं बनेगा, और खुद का बनने का मतलब है इट्स लाइक परफ्यूम इन एयर. यू एंटर अ रोज गार्डन, यू कांट सेपरेट द एयर एंड द परफ्यूम ऑफ रोजेस. यू हैव टू बी वन विद दैट बिजनेस. यू हैव टू नो इट लाइक योर ओन. आपको सब कुछ पता होना पड़ेगा. सो टॉक, डिस्कस. जितना टाइम स्पेंड करोगे उतना आपको उसका फायदा मिलेगा. राइट? एम आई राइट, प्रकाश?
Absolutely.
Putting it in the right way. Yeah. So for the benefit of our viewers, I thought let me put it in a way that is more easily और जितने लोगों को समझ आए उतना बढ़िया, because then they can understand the kind of magnificence you bring to the entire outsourced CFO business. What is the big dream, Prakash? I'll ask you, what is your big dream?
Well, I'm a simple man. I'm glad what I achieved in corporate life. I'm glad what I achieved as an entrepreneur. So just keep doing good work, and I would like to be known somebody who gives great service, who has a good network, who connect with you as a person, and who believe in.
Oh, believe me, you found one great fan over here sitting about 1,000 miles from Mumbai, and I'm going to blow that bugle as long as I live. I'm telling you, it has been such a marvelous interaction with you. And on top of that, you came from a Hindi medium school. Aapne English khud seekhi. You built yourself. Viewers, can you imagine, Prakash studied in a Hindi medium school, and after he went to Mumbai and got into a job and all that, through the years he learned how to speak and communicate in English language. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, Prakash. This is so inspiring.
In '93, when I came to Mumbai, I didn't know how to speak English. I mean, if I were to say you, how are you? I'll say how, then I will say are, then I'll pause for a moment to think, should I say you or I? It was
Okay.
that bad. But I very quickly realized that, look, I won't survive in Mumbai if I
Yes.
don't learn English. And amount of work I did, I have crammed dictionaries, I have hired primary school English school teachers, I have taken English primary books. I've gone to voiceover artist to get good English pronunciation because my pronunciation was
Fabulous,
very bad.
fabulous. That's what.
I've
Invest
read
in yourself, people.
newspapers, and I remember first English newspaper I read first column and I didn't know 30, 40 words. So I wrote in a book. So in fact, for several years, my routine used to be to cram every day 50 to 100 new words. But I'm genuinely grateful to God and these achievements that in 2004, HSBC sent me to Hong Kong to address international CFO conference.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when after addressing 40 plus CFO across the globe, I came down from a stage, I patted on my back and said, look, if I can address so many foreigners and they can understand my speech, which means my spoken English has reached a stage.
Absolutely. I mean,
2009
you're speaking so flawlessly. ऐसा लगता ही नहीं है that you haven't had an English medium education. But I like to add one thing over here. Viewers, it's very important. See, English is a skill. जरूरी नहीं है. It is a skill. जहां पे जो जरूरी है वो करना जरूरी है. प्रकाश को लगा कि इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज बहुत जरूरी है उस जगह के लिए जिस दिशा में वो चलना चाहते थे. राइट? आई वुड डेफिनेटली लाइक टू ऐड दिस क्योंकि हिंदी भाषा भी बहुत प्रभावशाली है. जिसको बोलनी आ जाए, जिसको पता लगे, जिसको समझ में आए कि हिंदी का प्रयोग किस तरीके से किया जाए हिंदी भाषा का, तो उसकी शब्दावली की एक अनोखी बात है. राइट?
Absolutely. So then 2009, Capgemini put me in a global role with several foreigners in my team. And I said, look, if foreigners who doesn't speak Hindi, who doesn't understand Hindi can be part of my team, I've reached another stage. And then 2011, I applied for Harvard Business School, world's #1 MBA school, and I had a dream to do my MBA. I didn't get admission in MBA, but in GMAT, in my English paper, in English essay, I got in top 10 percentile in the world. So I said, if globally I can be in top 10% in English, then I've come a long way. And I looked back and said, look, I've done a marvelous journey in terms of where I started in Mumbai and where I am. So I'm genuinely proud of the amount of work I did, and I'm able to speak fluent English.
Prakash, while you are proud of yourself, we are so fortunate that we have a story like yours to share with the entire world. Let me be very, very clear on that one. So, Prakash, I'll just now come to a very, very interesting part. It is our rapid fire question round. Here's the first question. One word that defines entrepreneurship.
Risk taking.
Risk taking. Simply amazing. Simply amazing. The next question I would like to ask. Okay, this is the next question. The worst thing that a company could do when it comes to their company. Suppose you are a CFO outside sourced company. What is the worst thing that you could do?
To lose patience and give up on that client.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Kya baat hai, to lose patience. Patience, viewers, patience, I always say, patience is a bubble that should never ever burst. वो ना expand होता रहता है और वो ना and it floats then. तो वो पूरे ब्रह्मांड में घूमेगा आपका पेशेंस. You will be able to fly over the earth's surface with that. लेकिन वो इतना बड़ा बनता जाता है आपके टेस्ट के साथ. As and when you grow, the tests that life puts you in, and if you put that pin and it bursts, imagine the kind of destruction that would happen. So patience is a bubble. Always try to preserve that one. On that count, I'll come to the third question that I'll ask. The easiest way to make a CFO brand sell.
Well, in CFO space, the branding is difficult because CFO is all about trust, all about relationship, somebody introducing you and somebody recommending you. So it's difficult to make a CFO brand. So keep doing good work and keep networking. That's what I would say.
There again, he said, networking is the key. देखो, बेचने का एक ही तरीका है. आप जितने लोगों से मिलोगे, उतने लोग आपको जानेंगे. It doesn't matter how many people you know. What matters is how many people know you. That is what Prakash is trying to say. And we'll go to our fourth question over here. The greatest offer you could make to a customer, Prakash.
To take his company to new heights and help him achieve his dream.
And boy, that's what I'm trying to say. सपने पूरे करना, उनके सपनों में उनका साथ देना. That is the greatest thing. See, if if you come to me with a dream and I say, I love your dream and I want you to achieve your dream, believe me, you will be a friend for life. And that is what Prakash is trying to say. Make your client grow.
I'll just add one thing. And my first day was Reliance, where I had a chance to work directly with Mr. Mukesh Ambani's office. And I used to sit outside his cabin. And I used to look at him and admire him, that what planning he has, what calmness he had to achieve what he had in mind. I would always see him throughout the day with very calmness, planning his day. So no dream is impossible. You have to just dream and go after it. That's what I learned a few months which I spent in his office.
That is so brilliant. No dream is impossible to achieve. आप कदम लेने वाले बनो, सपना अपने तरफ से खुद कदम लेगा आपकी तरफ. You know, your dream is like a magnet. And you have to become a magnet to be able to attract that dream. And the force of that magnet, your dream will always first repel you to test you. आप जितना पास जाओगे फिर वो ना shell टूटेगा उसका, and it will slowly start coming. The dream also has to trust you, no? Like you trust your dream, you trust yourself, the dream also should trust you. So on that count, I would come to the fifth question. So Prakash, this is a very important question because, and for me as a branding person, this is highly critical because I believe branding is always inside out. If your internal branding is not strong, your external branding will never ever work. So on that count, the best one-word compliment you could give to your team member, what would be that?
I mean, sometimes I have more patience than them, and they look at me and say, okay, let's be more patient because if sir has so much patience, let's not give up.
Simply amazing. So viewers, इसका मतलब क्या है? Let me see if you can put it in the comments after you see the video. मुझे लगता है इसका मतलब है that shows how strong a leader you are. Just need to smile. Be patient. वो लगे यार हमारा boss कैसा आदमी है? What kind of a person is my boss? You know? Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But the kind of resilience, the kind of patience, the kind of calmness, you know, the way he said he saw Mr. Mukesh Ambani used to feel, the calm on his face was simply amazing. So that's what it is. जितना आप rest पे वो रहोगे ना, rest mode पे, you might be going through, you might be, you know, for example, I'll give you, हमारी पृथ्वी जो है ना, is moving around the sun with thousands of kilometers की speed से, right? But do you feel the motion? You don't. जबकि वो इतनी speed में है. So it has a certain rest. You also have to be like that. Let's emulate what nature has in front of us. The way nature is, if we emulate that, that is going to be really amazing. So on that count, we come down to the sixth question. The place where any kind of a branding consultant, you know, goes wrong when CFO companies approach them. Okay, well, we want you to do something for us. We want you to build a brand for us.
Sometimes they don't understand exactly what is the personality of the owner or what is the personality of the company or what industry it is. They just try to come with stereotype ideas and try to push it. Or they think that the ideas which work in FMCG world will work for everybody. I think they should understand and spend enough time understanding the personality both of the owner as well as of the company and the industry.
Wonderful, wonderful. So the most important thing is understand the personality trait. You know, people buy people first before they buy their products or services. I think that is where Prakash is saying that if you do not know that, it is going to be a problem. So learn to be sellable first as a human. That will happen when you build a bond, right? उसके बाद बाकी चीजें हो जाएंगी. So the seventh question, Prakash, question number 7. The best compliment you would love to hear for your own company or for yourself or your team.
They are genuine in their work and they think long term.
Wonderful, excellent, genuine. Originality and authenticity is the talk of the town.
When it comes to ethics, these are the people I can trust.
Absolutely, ethics. So that's what Prakash means, that if somebody says you're an ethical company, that is where you have scored. That is what Prakash feels about himself. So,
in last 12 years, I've stuck to advisory. There are a lot of things as a finance professional you could do on unethical side and make tons of money.
Yeah.
I always stayed away from that. It has been harder journey. When you go by lift, you will reach faster, but when you go by stairs, you will surely reach, but it will take more time. My motto in life.
And you will also contemplate a lot while going up, you know.
Absolutely.
And you'll get toughened up also. That is another thing. Wow.
On that front, from a fitness angle, I'm a marathon runner. I've done Satara Hill Marathon.
Yeah, I was about to come to that one after this one. We'll come to that part as well. So physically active is someone that you also, you know, running on the pitch also and making companies run in the financial battlefield as well. That's what Prakash Agarwal is. Question number 8. The one thing you say to yourself when you wake up first thing in the morning.
It's a great day, and I'm sure good things will come today.
वंडरफुल वंडरफुल ओके हाँ उम्मीदों से दुनिया कायम है और उम्मीदें अपनी हमेशा जवान रखो मैं ये बोलूंगा जवान रखोगे तो उनमें दम रहेगा और हमेशा चलते रहोगे आगे the last thing you say to yourself when you're going to sleep, what would that be, Prakash?
I think I've lived my day and I'm grateful to the God whatever happened today.
Gratefulness. Viewers, can you imagine? So many guests have come and so many guests have said, paid their gratitude to God Almighty. So amazing. We are such an amazing society. We are such an amazing country. And our guests are so amazing. Sab log entrepreneurs here. You really are knock me off my feet, whenever I hear that, they are all grateful to God. So beautiful. Question number 10, the last one. The greatest punchline you have ever come across or heard till date could be for you, could be for anybody else, could be something funny, something hilarious, or even maybe something, highly, despicable, I would say. But what is the greatest punchline you have ever heard?
I'll repeat BNI's punchline. What goes around comes around.
What goes around comes around.
It truly works. When you give a lot, when you help others, somebody
Absolutely.
helps you without you even knowing that who has recommended them.
Absolutely, absolutely. What goes around comes around. आप जितनी तेज गेंद को दीवार पे मारोगे, वो वापस आएगी. My grandmother, my mother's side grandmother, my mother's mother, she used to always say, when we were little chote the, I come from Andhra, so she's Telugu, and she passed away 3 decades ago. और उस time की she was a 10th class graduate during Britishers time. So she used to tell me, she was a person with absolute patience. इतनी patient है मैंने अपनी life में नहीं देखी. So patient, huh? And she used to always say, हम बच्चे की तरह aggressive हो जाते थे खेल में काफी चीजें. Then she used to say, you know what? If you spit up in the sky, it will fall on you. You should know what you're doing. ये वो बोलती थी हमें. Such a great learning at that age. There's many things that she taught me. So yeah, definitely. ये बहुत जरूरी है. What goes around comes around. And on that note, we thank you so much. And Prakash, I have your address. I'll make sure that we are able to send you a small gift from our side in the coming 1 or 2 weeks. We'll make sure that it reaches you. And thank you so much for being with us on this rapid fire also. Before we end this interview, I'm going to ask you one question. What is your success mantra?
Hard work, persistence, patience, and desire for excellence. And above everything, keep networking. That is the answer to keep getting revenue, keep getting connections, and keep growing.
Thank you so much, Prakash. Thank you so much. Hard work, networking, keep working at it. एक दूसरे से मिलते रहो. अगर आप लोगों से मिलोगे तभी लोग आपको जान पाएंगे. That is what Prakash is telling. और इसीलिए सबको प्रेरित भी करो, सबकी सांत्वना भी बनो. Be a help raise the hopes of everyone around you, and they will together raise you to a height that you would have never ever imagined. That's what Prakash is telling, a man coming from a simple town. We all are simple towners, we all are simpletons, and we've achieved. And when you look around, you'll find so much. Aapke parents se kitna achieve kiya hai, and unke parents se kitna achieve kiya. Where you are sitting here today, this is not a small thing. Ye bahut badi dharohar hai, the kind of simplicity that we hold as a nation is simply amazing. And the entrepreneur community, hats off once again. Onward on our journey. Thank you so much, Prakash Agarwal. It was simply fabulous having you over here with us today. Virtual CFO phrase, इन्होंने सबसे पहले कौन किया था? That is his company. So please to check it out. We'll have all the details. You must have seen it through the entire video. आपने देखा होगा नीचे, or you can always scroll back and see. Thank you so much once again, Prakash, for being with us over here. Onward we move. देखते रहिए द ग्रेट इंडियन ब्रांड शो. साथ देगा इंडिया तभी साथ बढ़ेगा इंडिया. अगेन आई रिपीट, वी आर नॉट जस्ट 140 करोड़ पॉपुलेशन, वी आर 140 करोड़ सपोर्ट सिस्टम. और हम जब एक दूसरे का साथ देंगे तभी सारे साथ बढ़ेंगे और भारत विश्व गुरु ही नहीं ब्रह्मांड में नंबर 1 होगा. ये मेरा विश्वास है, यही प्रकाश का भी विश्वास है. ही इज अवेलेबल. प्लीज गेट इन टच विथ हिम. Companies, please grow out. Please get in touch with him. आप अपने अंदर इन्वेस्ट करो. इतनी सारी चीजें हैं. If I go back and repeat everything that he said, it will take another hour. But please rewind this interview and you see if you really want to make a difference in your business, because your business will make a difference in the lives of people who are working with you, and that will make a difference in the lives of the city you are living in, and that will impact the nation's growth also. देखते रहिए द ग्रेट इंडियन ब्रांड शो विद सुदर्शन आर्चेटलू. जीतो भारत का दिल, साथ बढ़ेगा इंडिया, साथ चलेगा इंडिया, तभी आगे बढ़ेगा इंडिया। थैंक यू प्रकाश।
Thank you, Sudarshan, for being a wonderful host. You have a great voice, lot of energy. Wish you all the best.
थैंक यू सो मच। सी यू नेक्स्ट वीक अगेन विद अनदर फैबुलस गेस्ट। तब तक देखते रहो, लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो और जरूर 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 कमेंट करो। सी यू।
It's rocket launching day. Right on, it's time to play. All set, ready to go. Far away to the show. Dressed up in silver suit, climbing up with gravity shoes. Buckled up.